Welcome back to Rise on Faith, the podcast where we share real stories of faith, resilience, and purpose. I'm your host, Carissa, and today I have the joy of sitting down with Nicole, a life coach who has been walking out her calling with faith at the center. Nicole, welcome to Rise on Faith.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to have the opportunity to speak on your podcast. For those who don't know me, my name is Persephone. I am a self-perception and confidence coach. I help women awaken their confidence and embrace their true selves by shifting from how they see themselves inside and out. This is something that I speaks also well because it comes from a personal realm in my life to connect and relate to women from speaking from something that you hold so dearly that you dealt with on a personal experience in your life.
Yes, I love that. And I'm so honored that you are here with us. And before you ever became a life coach, what did your journey actually look like? And can you share some of the experiences that actually shaped you most early in your lifetime?
So before I became a life coach, I am a mom of three beautiful children, and I am a grandmother of six. Before becoming a life coach, I worked in the mental health and the human service field. So I was always in that realm of helping, providing that support, encouragement, inspiration of whatever it was that people needed. So I was always in that space where Persephone was the go-to person. So it was where I love helping people. With that being a passion, it was what better way to, flourish into connecting with something that you have that you can use to connect with women. So that was always a driven passion of mine with helping others. The season was a training ground for me. It taught me compassion, resilience, and what it feels like to walk through life not fully owning your worth.
Yes. And I feel like that is a great story of you helping others, and you've always
Mhm.
loved to help others. So why not
Yeah.
turn it into something that you enjoy, right? And you're able
Yes.
to also impact others too while doing it. I love that.
It was really the struggle. I battled with self-doubt, insecurities, and how I saw my own reflection, my journey until I decided to reflect on how I overcame a lot of obstacles in life, dealing with insecurities, low self-esteem, self-doubt, and transfer it over into helping others overcome it.
People need that. Sometimes we get stuck and we feel like we hit a brick wall. We can't
Mhm.
go anywhere. We can't do anything. And then there's those people like you that come in and make you feel seen and understand that you are worthy. You are enough no matter what the world says. So I am thankful that you are following that purpose
Yeah,
in life. Were
thank
there
you.
certain challenges that really pushed you to seek God in a deeper way during this transformation journey in life?
Absolutely. I went through seasons where I tried to do everything on my own. And I think that came from just being a young mom at the age of 15. I was so into I have to do this for my children, my son and my daughter. I had two kids by the age of 18.
Mm.
So I just became so consumed of just doing everything on my own strength. And I found myself exhausted and empty. There was one particular time I remember crying. I was crying out to God saying, I can't carry this anymore. You need the help, you need the support, but it was not always there for me. And in that moment, it was like when I surrendered and just said, I experienced his peace in a way I never had before. So it was me trying to do everything on my own. But when I surrendered, it was like that's when I finally had my peace. And it was like, okay, you don't have to do this alone. You don't have to do this on your own. At that moment, that was my turning point. As I continued, it just got better in a way, in survival mode for my children. I wasn't necessarily healing, but
Right.
I was surviving because I had to do what I needed to do for my children. So, in the realm of that, once I surrendered, the impossible seemed possible. I finished high school, graduated, got my first car, bought my first car, went for my associate's degree. So, I just kept going and going and going. But it
Yeah.
wasn't until I surrendered and then things started to, fall into place. Like, you don't have to do this on your own.
Sometimes we realize that with God, He gives us peace and direction,
Mhm.
but that doesn't mean we're automatically going to be healed or have
Yes,
everything. He is such a strategic God where He takes things out and has you heal on a certain path. He doesn't put it all on you at once. He'll
yes.
slowly do it. And that's what I love about God. He
Sometimes
takes us
we make
this.
it more complicated. He's like, okay,
If you want to do that, we'll go that way, but I
not
really
gonna
wasn't
stop you.
planning on that.
Exactly, exactly.
Yep, definitely. What led you to become a life coach? We kind of talked about this a little bit, but was there a defining moment where you just knew this was your purpose?
I would have to say, throughout my life, my earlier struggles, being a young mom at 15, I was faced with many, inner critics, the disbelievers. Oh, you're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to do that. I always felt like as I continued to strive and do better, I wanted to be a voice for young mothers who were told they couldn't, you won't be able to, nobody's going to want you, all the negative talk. I wanted to be that voice so people can see, wow, she was a mom at 15 and now look at her and her kids are striving as well. So with that being said, I always continue to be that support system for other people. No matter what I was dealing with, I was that go to person where people always felt like they can talk to me. I never shut no one down. Being in the mental health field, I always found myself being that encourager, that nurturer, you being in this mental health realm, and people like your personality, you're a people person, and they can just feel comfortable and safe to talk with me. I say that's something that was just given to me. I just decided, you know what? Now that I'm ready to comfortably speak out and tell my story and what I've overcome, why not do it? Because we all have a story. And like they say, it may not be for everyone, but it'll be for someone.
Yes, it is. And that's exactly it. I've seen it playing out in my life a lot lately. And I have those moments of, are you on the right path? And then those things pop out and it's just one person. I'm like, okay, I know I'm on the right path because I'm helping other people. It's not about me,
Mhm.
it's what God needs. And if even just one person is impacted, I'm going to keep going.
Exactly. Yes. No,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right.
So, how did your faith play a role in saying yes to this path?
I would have to say faith is everything. I mean, faith is everything, honestly. I was scared at first starting a business, all of the things like, is this going to work? Or how do I do this? Not being used to a social platform. I'm calling myself a coach. And that never, never was, it was either Miss Saxton or Persephone. Never was it a thought of it to that extent. So
Right.
I did take it an extra step up being called coach or coach P.
Yes.
It felt so big. I prayed and asked God, and one of my strongest believers is my late grandmother. I was her heart. The emerald green I have on my wrist provides me like with so much positivity, encouragement, confidence, the support because I feel more connected in with her. She is a big part of you go for it, you do it. It was just having all of those pieces connected to help build that encouragement and that faith in me and wanting to keep going. And little by little, it was through prayer, asking God, like, can I do this? Do you think I have this? And like I said, little by little, he confirmed it through helping me to see this is you, this is your calling, and this is what you were meant to do. And people need you, and people need to hear your story. And so I just felt it in my spirit, and I went for it. Wasn't going to allow the naysayers, the external validations to knock me from moving forward with my vision. The main thing that kept me going was having faith, praying to God, and my grandmother.
Yeah. And that's the only things that you need. Like you said, you don't need the the validation from other people. You don't
No.
need that. Like I tell myself all the time, you don't need a million likes, Carissa. As long as there's somebody being impacted, it's okay and just
Hmm.
keep going. Because one day somebody's going to see you and just be like, oh
Hmm.
my gosh, I've been looking for her for so long. She's finally
Yeah.
here. So I know running a business as a believer can look a little different. Trust me, I know, because I run a cleaning company and now, doing the platform, it can be a little bit of a struggle because some people tell you, don't mention God. Can you share a time when you faced a major business challenge and leaned on God for direction?
I would have to say I lean into God on a regular basis, just like every day, because as I continue to show up, I can be too much of a perfectionist. And sometimes I'm wondering, was this correct? Did I do this right? The challenges, just starting out, I would say I probably haven't endured an abundance of those challenges just yet. But when and if those challenges surface, I have to keep in mind what my purpose is and what I'm here to do. It's not going to be for everyone, and
Yeah.
that's okay. As long as I know I'm doing things the way that I want to and for my purpose, I just have to keep the main principles before me, because if I lose focus and allow a lot of external, you know, things impact me, that will deter me from my purpose. I feel like it's about keeping myself driven in my purpose and knowing that I can't make everyone happy. But as long as I'm doing what I'm called to do and reaching and connecting to who I do, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like the next couple of questions we kind of have went over a little bit, but do you pray over your business decisions and what does that look like for you in like the day-to-day life? So, like, are you praying on everything that you're doing or how does that look for you?
I would have to say yes. On a day to day, it is a struggle, to be honest, because I have a regular job. So I'm in the school and I work with this from the K through 12, but I work with third graders to eighth graders. So on a day to day basis, it's hard to get sidetracked. And if you feel like you're not putting your all into what you want to do, but you know you need to do this as well. So a lot of times I close my eyes and I say, God, I know this is what I'm called to do. I also pace myself and not put too much on me that will make me feel like, okay, I'm going to throw in the towel. This is not working for me. I know that time will come when I'll get a lot of clients, but right now I'm just pacing myself and taking baby steps so I can feel comfortable and continue to stay in this business along with my regular 9 to 5. But I'm also helping children on a daily basis too.
Yeah.
Listening to children, talking to them about their life stressors, grief, anxiety, depression, emotional regulation, and it's social skills. I'm helping other students in groups find their true selves and be comfortable with themselves. So, on a day to day basis, I thank God for allowing me to have this opportunity. And I always get that confirmation that I'm walking in my purpose when I make a post and people comment, thank you so much. I needed that. That's confirmation for me. when a student was leaving to go home because he wasn't feeling well. And the one thing he wanted to do was hug me before he left. When
Yeah.
students choose to speak to me before speaking to someone else. So that lets me know that, you know, that's God saying, look, I'm showing you that this is what you're doing is what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So, I'm blessed every day that I get to be in this position, but always being mindful that this is something that I love doing and I want to continue to do. So I like to be graceful yet humble.
Yeah. And I feel like also, like, again, he's strategic in that placement of he put you in the schools and I feel like kids are honestly the toughest to crack sometimes. He's training you in that just to prepare you for what is actually coming. That's what I love about God. He
Yes,
trains us. Everybody wants that blessing right away. Everybody wants it to just happen instantly. He has a plan and it's
yes,
strategic. He has to take you through these
yes,
so you learn exactly how to deal with pressure. You said K through 12. Yes, right now it's only third through eighth, but that is a lot of children, no matter what. That's a
yes,
lot to
hmm,
handle, a lot of pressure. He is
yes, hmm,
already allowing you to see that and see, like, okay, I'm giving this for a training. So when you start getting all those clients, you know how to handle it. You know how to find that balance. The next
yes.
question is, how do you balance the pressures of business with keeping God first?
I will have to say it's a daily choice. The world will always push you to chase numbers, followers, and success. But I remind myself success for me is obedience. I start my mornings like I use affirmations in my mornings to start my mornings to, help keep me balanced. I listen to positive, podcasts, Mel Robbins or, it's a whole slew of them. Find ways to keep my wheels spinning in a positive way. I have a great deal of humbleness because I do get challenged often when I'm at work, when you have to deal with people that don't want to reciprocate, don't want to communicate. So there's a lot of things that can try to throw you off, but I know what I need to do. Having this coaching platform helps me stay grounded because I need to be able to, like they say, practice what you preach.
Yeah.
I need to be able to do the same thing. So if my client is struggling in an area, I need to say, okay, so where do you think this is going? How do you feel about this? I need to be able to practice what I preach. So it's just something that helps keep me going because I know I have to show up for others. So I have to also make sure I'm showing up for myself. Doing those little key things, I'm listening to ebooks, different things help keep me balanced and with myself. And it's just prioritizing a great deal. Oftentimes I just close my eyes and talk to God. When in doubt, I just that helps me find my peace. And aromatherapy, a big one.
So you already kind of touched on the next question. The habits and the spiritual disciplines help you keep you grounded in your walk with God. So, like you said, you wake up in the morning, you listen to podcasts that are positive, you do the
Yes.
aromatherapy, you check in with yourself, you make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing so that you can show up for your clients. I know you're also very into the self-care thing. So I know, like, you
Yes.
go and get your nails done and you do things for you to
Yes.
help keep you grounded, because
Yes.
otherwise we are too focused on everybody else, and then that's when that whole irritating,
Us.
you get frustrated really easily.
Yes.
So I'd love for you to share, can you give us a testimony of a transformation in your own life where God really shifted something for you?
I would have to say for years, I struggled with hiding parts of myself because I didn't feel enough. Like my appearance, my imperfection that I continue to struggle with and I never felt comfortable with talking about my weak muscle in my right eye. That's what's really hit me with not wanting to show my face on a social platform, not wanting to tell my story. It was just that pivotal moment where I just, I often prayed because I often seen other people. I'm like, well, if they're showing up on a social platform, why am I allowing this to stop me? And the more and more I would see women deal with certain things like low self-esteem and low self-confidence, it was just, I felt like God showed me that what I saw as imperfections, he saw was my, I would say, he saw as a purpose. And that purpose is what I'm doing now. So it was one time I just said, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I want something different. I want change in my life. And the more I got into it, I said, yeah, I'm just going to do this. It's like he took my insecurity and turned it into confidence. Not because I became perfect, it was more so because I learned to see myself through his eyes. It was that moment where I just had to allow him in to guide me. That helped me feel reassured and to help me feel grounded, where I'm not going to allow distractions from the outside stop me from walking and doing and being in my purpose. Because we all know when we're dealing with the social platform, you get things coming at you in all different ways, shapes, size, forms. We have to have a little tough skin to
You
be on the
do.
social platform.
You do. I have seen you flourish. I love seeing your posts and the creativity behind it. You're really doing amazing. I'm
Appreciate
just
it.
very proud of you because I saw it's the same with me. We start off and we're so nervous, don't know
Mhm.
what to do. But then, like you
Yeah.
said, once we give it to God and allow Him to shine through us, that peace
Yeah.
comes. And then we're like, oh, what am I worried about? Because the right people are going to see it, and the other people, who cares? We have
You're
to
so right. Yeah, you're so right. I felt like if God can do it for me, he can do it for anyone. The more I allow my connection with him to help me feel more confident and feel more reassuring and know that I'm not trying to, you know, go fast with this and take my time, I just feel more and more reassured and comfortable with what it is that I'm doing. When I get that confirmation, that's just confirmation for me when someone says, "Oh my gosh, this was great. I needed this. You are so right. You're such an inspiration. You've overcome so much to be a young mom at the age of 15." And I will proudly say it. I am 45 and just living my life. My oldest will be 30 in February. I'm blessed in a lot of ways, and I'll never forget that. I'm really happy that I allowed, that connection and with God to really allow me to be what I needed to be to help other women.
Yes, yes. I love that. So let's see. I know your clients come to you for guidance and mindset and direction. How do you
Mhm.
help them strengthen not just their mindset, but also their faith?
Well, when it comes into I would say when it comes into the coaching, I try to blend practical tools with spiritual truth. So I'll walk with them through exercising like mirror work and affirmations, but I also point them back to their true identity. You have to be mindful because some people can be in a different faith-based walk of life and with God, but knowing that you'll get to know your client, what they like and what's a preference for them. And then you always also check the religion base for them prior, so you don't overstep,
Yeah.
because you want to
Yep.
make them know you respect them.
Yep.
And I remind them that mindset is powerful, but faith is the foundation. So
Yeah.
together, those two create lasting transformation. So it's one thing where you're putting those words in perspective with mindset and faith, but you're also making it understandable, teachable, coachable, but not so heavy driven
Yeah.
in that aspect with God because you want them to get the message and not feel like, okay, I feel like I'm in church now. So it's
Yes.
keeping it splash, like a little sprinkle, a little splash of this and a little splash of that, but just showing them how it connects and make it a transformation for them.
Yes, yes, that's perfect because, I feel like in my life, there's been certain people that have turned to God. And
Hmm.
it's like I talk about God to them, but it's about me and like what's happened to me and why I
Hmm.
believe in Him and certain things that have happened to me. And it's not like, oh, you have to believe this, you have to understand. But the more that they get to know me and the more that they see things coming into my light, then they're like, "Oh, wait a minute. I need to dig
Yes.
into this more myself." So you're
Yes.
right. Like it just being very mindful of the whole situation, like you said, sprinkling it in there. I love that.
Exactly.
So, finally, what encouragement would you give to somebody listening today who feels stuck, overwhelmed, or unsure of their purpose?
I would have to say you have to know what it is you want. You have to know where you want to go in life. And once you're able to see that you deserve peace, you deserve happiness, you deserve love, you deserve everything else on this earth that everyone else has. There's nothing in the Bible that says one deserves better than the other. If this is what you want, then this is what you go after. But you have to understand not everything can be done by itself by yourself. Don't be afraid to reach out for help. Just know that there's communities that's out there for support. There's resources out there for support. It's like they say you can lead the horse to the well, but you can't make the horse drink the water. You have to be able to know that you want to step up and make the change in your life. You deserve it just as well as the next person sitting next to you. It's not written where one deserves more than you, but you have to find it within yourself and you have to be the one to make that first initial step.
Yeah.
Because without you acknowledging that you need help, nothing that anyone else says is going to, nothing that anyone else says is going to, they can tell you what to do, how to go about it, how to support you, but you have to want better for yourself in order to go to the next level. So
Yeah.
my message is don't be afraid to come out of that. I think of it like the butterfly. So much transformation goes in when that butterfly is in that cocoon. It's so much transformation going on in the dark moments. That's just relatable as in our life. We
Mhm.
go through so much in the dark, underneath the surfaces. Inside, there's so much going on. But that butterfly did not give up on this transformation. And when that transformation was done, what did it do? It bloomed into a beautiful butterfly out of that cocoon. And the wings, it soared and it just kept moving. And that's how it is with our confidence. We have to be able to see what we have within ourselves in order to project it outward. And that's what positive over negative.
Yes, yes. And just being able to get that confidence in
Yes,
yourself, knowing that purpose is for you, but you need the change. You want to be able to change. You want to be able to focus on you. So then that confidence shows once you're walking in that purpose. So I love
yes,
that.
yes.
So, Nicole, I thank you for being here. And I love that we had this conversation.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to, it was very enlightful. However, I can help people understand that they're not alone. It's a journey. It was never written and said that it was going to be an easy journey. So
Right.
if I didn't
Never.
give up from the age of 15 and I'm now 45, it's, you
Like,
know,
there's no
I'm, li-
reason. Can't give up, right?
I'm
We
living proof. So if I
ex-
didn't give up, you
you
shouldn't give up neither.
no, not at all. So I know your story and wisdom will encourage so many people listening to step out in faith. To our listeners, remember your faith is not just for Sundays. It's the
Mhm.
foundation for how you live, lead, and rise. Until next time, keep rising on faith.